But first, I just kind of want to ground in the space here with a few breaths and just a very short kind of meditation. So I'll get everyone to just find a comfortable position. Close your eyes down. You can rest your hands on your lap or somewhere. Shoulders down and relaxed. You can relax your face. And just take some nice deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Deep in. We've been pretty go since we got here, and so it's nice just to give yourself a little pause. Just relax your mind. Become aware of any sensations in your body, any emotions present. And I want you guys to recalibrate your intention for this retreat and get back in touch with the thing we talked about at the start, which was breaking the pattern and heading into the second half of this year with a full head of steam. We've already articulated some of our goals, and so let's get back in touch with that energy. Our energy's been very fragmented with activity to activity. It's different types of energy, different types of focus. And so we want to really calibrate ourselves for this activity and just ground into the energy of thinking massive and shining your full light and becoming the version of yourself you need to become. So just calibrate yourself internally. Deep breaths. Let's do 2 more. Okay, awesome. Open your eyes slowly when you're ready. So we're going to be doubling down on defining our max potential. This is an area of life that demands a lot of our attention. It's the highest leverage area of life we can look at. And so we wrote a few goals down to start the retreat. We're going to be going a lot deeper in this session. And so what we're going to be doing is writing down 50 of the things that we want to create or experience or achieve in life that excite us the most. The full version of this activity is 100 things or even more. Takes a while to get there, and I encourage you guys to spend more time on this on your own. But for now, we're going to do 50. And these can be in any area of life. The first 10 or 20 might be easy. To get yourself to 50, you're going to have to kind of push yourself and start to articulate things that you may have not consciously articulated or have not reminded yourself that you actually want in a very long time. I want you guys to think bigger than you ever have before. Life is short, and it does not serve us to think even an ounce below completely massive thinking. It does not serve us one bit. It feels more comfortable to set goals that might be more accepted by those around us, by our partners, by our friends, by our colleagues, by our family. But it doesn't serve us. Life is short. We must. I view it as our duty to ourselves to define not 30 or 50 or 90% of our max potential, but 100%. The thing that in our gut, that spark in our soul is calling us to achieve and become and create and impact the world. This is something that you guys may have articulated to yourself in the past. It's something that might just be a distant voice in the background always telling you that you're capable of something, or that you should go out and achieve something, or you can impact the world in a certain way. And this is a voice that most of us ignore, because oftentimes the action or the path to achieve your max potential is extremely uncomfortable. You have to overcome so many limiting aspects of yourself, and it's so out of the normal paradigm that people think that we often just don't go for it. And this is the reality of vast majority of the population. But in this community, we define our max potential. We define the version of ourselves we must become in order to achieve it, and then we attack. And so that's what we're going to do in this activity. We're going to define our max potential. We're going to define the version of ourselves we're going to become, and then we're going to set a game plan for the second half of this year. And then we attack. And so I want you guys to take this seriously. This is some of the highest leverage time we spend. Because in 99% of our lives, we're rowing the boat, but what's the highest leverage piece of information? The final destination. Rowing the boat is hard. It takes a lot of work, a lot of discipline, daily discipline, following through on standards, following through on commitments, waking up each day and facing life. We don't want to be doing that for a reality that doesn't excite us. We don't want to be doing that for anything less than our max potential. And the beautiful part is, if we articulate and define our max potential, we're going to get a hell of a lot further than if we didn't anyways. And so it literally does not serve us in any realm of logic to not think massive and then act massive and absolutely go for it. It's just scary. But I view what's a lot more scary is settling. Is being 80, 100, 120 years old on your deathbed and saying like, wow, I lived a decent life, but like, what could I have really done? You know, you guys might all have different beliefs of what happens after death. I personally have no idea what happens after death. But whatever happens, I want to look back on my life and say like, you know what, I used this little tiny 5-second window as a human being and I just squeezed the juice out of it. I did what I could. I became who I was supposed to become. So that's the idea. So we're going to write down 50 things that maybe scare you, that you may have no idea how is going to happen. You may not even view that you have the capacity to do it. That's okay. None of that's a requirement to write something down on this piece of paper right now. Whatever calls to you from the inside. Whatever inspires you the most. And this can sometimes be difficult because we're so used to operating in a certain way. If you're 10, 20 years into a certain career, if you've operated in relationships in a certain way for so long, if you've lived life a certain way for so long, if people have expected the same thing of you for so long, it can be tough to kind of like divert from that. But that's not your problem. What anyone else thinks of you or what people expect of you doesn't matter. Like I said, making massive change requires massive action. This might result in ruffling some feathers around you. Your partner might be like, what are you doing? Why are you waking up early and attacking and working for 2 hours? Why are you going to bed early? Why are you not eating that unhealthy thing? Why are you reading for an hour each day? Or whatever it is. People will probably not understand. That's why it's important to be in a community like this where we support each other. And because it's hard going back into your reality where no one understands and you have to uphold high-level standards and you may even face passive-aggressive judgment. Because when you're going for it, when you're attacking, and everyone around you isn't, or most people aren't, when they see that from you, they often become insecure about the fact that they're not. Because you're reflecting to them like a mirror the fact that they're not attacking the way that they should, and that makes them uncomfortable. And they project that discomfort in judgment, saying like, oh, come on, you don't need to do that. What are you doing? Stuff like that. And so when you're writing stuff down right now, you might even think about, who's going to say what and how this is going to be perceived from people around you. Write it down anyways. Don't let that concern you right now. This is a conversation between you and you. You don't need anyone's permission to have a certain goal, anyone's approval. Doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It's your life. It's your goals. It's your max potential. It's a conversation you're going to be having with yourself at the end of the line on your deathbed. So that's what matters most. There's no wrong answer, just whatever is true to you. Think big. Think about things that actually excite you, that would actually lead to you jumping out of bed on a Monday morning and wanting to attack. Stuff that makes you want to jump out of bed instead of drag yourself out of bed to get into the same reality that you don't even enjoy that much. That's not to say that the process is all sunshine and rainbows, but to write goals that actually lead to you having a spark inside you instead of just living in survival day to day. I feel complete with that. We're gonna head into this activity now. 50. Don't stop until you hit 50, and you can extend past 50 if you want to. Is everyone clear on this? And any questions before we get rock and rolling here? Sweet.
Do you want the goals framed a certain way where it's like, I've accomplished this already, like, or do you want it to say something along the lines of like, I want to accomplish?
I would just say write the goals themselves.
Yeah, not much of a sentence, right?
Just bullet form.
Bullet point form.
Yeah. But if writing them a certain way resonates with you, absolutely go for it.